Yeah.
If everyone would rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. I'd like to mention a couple items. If everyone would please silence their cell phones. Our meetings are public and recorded, and this is a business meeting, so we ask everyone to conduct themselves in a professional manner. Our city code allows for public comment up to 3 minutes. For best sound quality, please remember to pull these microphones down and speak into them. And please bear with me tonight. I've got a little bit of sinus stuff going on. I'd like to switch the order of the meetings up a little bit so we can get some guests in and out of here. So what we'll do, if you want to flip through your packets, we'll start with zoning committee. So if you find your zoning committee meeting minutes, that's the point where we'll start. So with that, I will toss it to Alderman Peel.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll call the zoning committee meeting to order at 6 p.m. Myself, Alderman Ebert, Schwarzkopf, Demond, and Nevoy all present. Old business, Redbud Business Park update. Jeff, do you have anything?
Just a few minor things. Our IEPA permits for water and sewer, we're thinking they're 2 or 3 weeks out. Once we get them back in, they'll complete phase 1 plans and specs, and we hope to go out to bid later this fall.
Okay, on to new business. I'd like to make a motion to approve prior month's meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have one other thing on here was the mural permit application for Health Focus Incorporated. In your packet, you can see the application along with permission from the owner of the building to have that mural put on there. And then there's also a little picture at the bottom of the 3rd page, I believe, of what the mural is going to look like. I don't know if anybody has any comments or any questions. I believe the artist, is here also, and they can answer any questions if anybody's got any questions for her. No questions, hearing none. I would, I guess I'll make a motion to allow or to permit the application for the mural at Health Focus Incorporated. I'd like to make that a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And any public comments, anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, I will adjourn the zoning committee meeting at 6:01.
Okay, thank you. And just for your edification here, this will pass to our city council. That meeting is October 7th. That's the evening where all 8 will get to vote on that. And that's when it will become effective. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll flip back to the first page and go in our usual order, I guess. Finance Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Finance Committee, myself, Alderman Honabet, Roniker, Schwarzkopf, and Peel, all present. Under old business, we have an ordinance drawn up for grocery tax, sales tax.
This is the sample provided by IML. Unless anyone has a problem, would be ready to hand this over to our attorneys to fill in the blanks. We could bring it back to next month's committee meeting and take a look at what it looks like for Redbud. Okay, and I guess other than, should we do a motion to let them draft the
Okay.
agenda?
I would make a
Agenda.
motion that we take the sample ordinance and send it to the city attorney to fill in the blanks and make it our own. Second. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
Yeah, can we tell him what we want to do? Like, if there's ors in here, 25 or 50 or 100, So that shouldn't be his responsibility. Page 2, section, the bottom of the page.
Yeah, the 25% of the 50.
It'd be the 1% because that's what we're replacing, right?
Well, it's at the rate of choose one. Yeah, so we gotta tell him what we're choosing. 25, 50, 75, or 100%.
Okay, I guess I just made an assumption we were replacing the 1%.
I don't know.
But yeah, you're correct, though. We need to give him that exact definition. Good point, Mike. Should never assume.
I guess amend the motion, until we have cleaned up the questions on the percentages and so forth.
And you could engage in a conversation here.
Mike, was there other spots then besides the percentages that you
No,
think?
I think that's the only spot, but we just,
1% is what we're after, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
but
So
like I
you
said, it
could,
shouldn't be the attorney's responsibility to do that.
no,
Oh, well, yeah.
can he amend the motion to include that? That's
We'll
our
amend the
intent.
motion to include the 1% tax rate.
And I'll amend my second or whatever I gotta do.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, both been amended to include the 1% tax rate. Any further discussion?
No, other than like, so we'll bring it back to October committee, just so we're all cool before this goes to council. That would be maybe in November.
And again, it's going to be drafted, brought back to committee. Okay. No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Moving on to new business. Make a motion to approve prior month's meeting minutes from August 19th, 2024.
Second,
Motion is second, further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? CD information, again, there is some information in your packets on some of the current rates. We're still a few months off to where we're going to start renewing some of those CDs, and we'll revisit that as those get closer.
And then Rodney, she's got some additional information in here,
On the,
the page 2 with the 350,000.
CD rates as opposed to the checking accounts and so forth.
Yeah, Liz, why don't you come up to the microphone there and give us a little information? She's found some additional monies that we could probably invest is what this sheet is.
So I've identified $350,000 in the city hall code and planning account that we could invest now. And I put the current CD rates in there compared to the checking account and also that Illinois funds, which we already use for our tax revenue and our MFT money. And its interest is compounded daily. And right now it's been, for the last 2 years, it's been over 5% every day. So Waterloo uses it and so does the city of Columbia. And we already have an account there, so it'd be easy to put money in there and that those funds are readily available, like you can deposit it into Illinois funds and then you can take it out the next day and you accrue interest for that day. And you can draw it down to zero and not have any fees and they won't close your account. So that is another option we could use as an investment for the city.
And you say you've identified $350,000 that we could do that with immediately?
Right now, yes.
Okay,
And then I think Josh should maybe look at the proprietary funds the next couple of months and see if there's any extra money in there as well.
yeah, and actually the Illinois fund rate is higher than even the CDs or anything else that we have at this point.
so what do we use them for now?
We have our tax revenue from the state and our MFT tax revenue. It gets deposited into the Illinois funds. And then I withdraw that every month after that month
Gotcha.
and put it into our checking account.
Who actually controls Illinois funds?
The Illinois State Treasurer's Office.
The only problem I have is this additional information that you gave us. Investments. 3211 is a page. where it says majority of the city funds shall be invested in savings and lending institutions located within the city.
Right, and the majority of our funds are at Teacher Bank, Buena Vista,
Basically, everything is.
things and two local banks.
Yeah, but you're saying you would like to consider.
Consider. It's an option.
So-
It's an option we
take
discovered. We
ordinance
didn't.
change to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's an option we discovered and we just simply wanted to say, here's an option.
I mean, I agree that when you look at, where they've been, they're a little bit over what our highest CD would be, but I just,
You can withdraw at any time, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
that's the beauty. It's really liquid.
It
Whereas
is available at any point.
the only problem I got is putting 100% faith in Illinois.
it's a concern.
It's,
Honestly, I mean,
What's-
there's no guarantee to that money, right?
well, what the auditor said, it was. There's repurchase agreements at 102% of the value of the fund.
So
So I
it's,
guess it's based on perfected collateral.
But when they decide to use this money on something else and it's gone, there is no,
It's not FDIC insured, no.
right. It's not FDIC insured. for that.
Correct, and
Yeah.
FDIC only insures up to 250,000
Yeah,
per depositor. And they pledge collateral on those funds as well, the banks do.
I mean, that's my only concern. I mean, I realize, and I still think we should do some business locally also. If we can, stay within a certain percentage of. And I'm talking about the ones, not the one we're talking about, not the 350. I'm fine with doing that if you want to try it.
Okay.
But when it comes time to renew those, I think we ought to give that some thought and make a decision then.
So
on the renewals, yes.
Right.
on the renewals, but
Right.
she's not talking the renewals
Right,
on the
right,
three
no,
fifty.
I understand.
Mhm.
That's why I said if we want to do the 350, yeah, I'm fine with that.
I kind of like the idea of it being basically liquid at any time if you do have. to
Yeah.
pay it
That's
out.
true.
Mhm.
If we
Right.
run into an emergency that we
so is
have
the
to
governor.
have some money, it's there and we can pull it,
No, I don't disagree with that.
other than the state of Illinois.
I'm sorry.
But Liz, you did say it's collateralized, right?
Correct.
Which is the same thing that is all our money at all the banks.
It's
It's,
pledge collateral.
it's insured FIDC,
That's a
FDIC,
certain percent
up to 250,000, and then after that, they
collateral.
collateralize, yes, and that's something that Liz tracks all the time to make sure that all of the funds are,
I mean,
you
that's
know, being
something
covered.
we can discuss at that time. Yes.
Okay, do we want to make any movement then on the 350,000?
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I would make a motion that we put it into the Illinois funds. The 350,000, then when the CD rates come up later, we're gonna look at those again anyway. So, make a motion that the 350,000 that's been identified be invested in the Illinois funds.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Same. Okay, motion carries. Under your financial dashboard, you can see the percentages wise revenue, we're right on track where we had budgeted at 33% for the fiscal year. That does not reflect any real estate tax at this point. And on your total expenditures, we're actually 21% ahead as far as expenditures to the good as far as the financial dashboard. FYI 24 audit results. Jill, I think I'll let you speak to this a little bit. Anything?
Oh, Liz.
Somebody
So
other
the
than
auditor
Ron.
sent a summary letter
Right?
and we found a mistake, not a mistake, but the two lines that they were comparing didn't include one of the taxes, so they redid that. So instead of our sales and use tax being down 263,000, it was actually only 58,000. But they put a summary together for everyone. Did everyone get a chance to look at this? So overall, we're doing pretty well. And then they did have one comment on our MFT audit where we weren't budgeting for it, but we've never budgeted for it because they're state funds. They're given to us by the state of Illinois. So they're very restricted. MFT does their own audit every year. Jeff takes projects, they get approved by the state of Illinois. So we've never budgeted for it because we're really limited on what we can spend that money on. So they just said to put in a budget number, so we have a budget there, but of course it's always controlled by the state of Illinois. Questions?
So do we know what our excess is then?
I believe it's around 778,000.
Okay.
As the real estate taxes start rolling in, we'll start addressing that in another.
We just got our first real estate check today.
Good.
And Liz, I'd like to thank you with that first statement on pages 1 and 2, an unmodified opinion and highest opinion level. So thank you for all your work.
Okay, anything else, Liz, on that?
That was it.
Just a motion to accept it then.
Okay, so make a motion to accept the audit report from Fick, Egemeyer and Williamson.
Second.
Motion and second, further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, next item on the agenda under new business is a property acquisition. And I would suggest that we probably go into an executive session to discuss the property.
Okay, it's it's 5 ILCS 120-2C5. And we're going into executive session at 6:15.
We need a motion to do.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, you have to make that motion first.
Okay, I make a motion that we go into executive session. Motion that we go into executive session.
Thanks.
Okay,
You gonna vote on it?
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
As you can tell, I've done this a lot.
I think we need to have Jeff back there.
Yes, I don't mind. Jeff, would you want to join us, please? I don't think it'll take too long. Okay. You can, Jill, you can,
Okay, I would like to make a motion to go out of executive session as of 6:22. Do I need a second on that?
No, you don't actually have to make. a
Just-
motion.
Okay.
Just announce that we're back.
Okay, and we're back. So we're back in regular session and there was no action taken. Okay, that brings us to public comments. Anything for the good of the city? If not, finance will adjourn at 6:24.
Okay, next up is personnel.
All right, I call personnel committee at 6:24. Myself, Bill, Dojan, Gebert, Reinecker here. We got no old business under new business. Make the motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes from August 19, 24.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Next up, we have a school crossing guard rate of pay. John, you reached out to me. Take it from here.
So we have not at this point been able to fill the school crossing guard position. Some of that I wonder if it's the pay, because coming out of your house for 1 hour a day for $14.48 an hour. Probably there's not a lot of people wanting to do it. So I thought maybe we make it more desirable by raising the pay. Our animal control agent is currently doing one of the crossing guards and he's at $17.77. I thought we could either unify that across the board for the crossing guards and the animal control, or take it up to 20 per hour. The difference right now is school's in session for 182 days. That's 2 times 2 hours a day, 2 crosswalks. At $14.84, that is currently $10,539. Raise it to $17.77, that takes it just under $13,000 a year that we pay for crossing guard, which is approximately $2,500 increase from where it sits now. We take it up to $20 an hour, it'd be $14.5, which would be a difference of $4,000 compared to what we're paying now. So it's just something to consider about raising that rate.
What's the lowest rate of pay of any of our other employees? I mean, like here, part-time, no, but,
Co-op's minimum wage,
okay, but. your-
14.
But your part,
Parks are, what did we say today?
1611.
1611.
yeah, so I can't see going to crossing guard 17.7.
I mean, but like
But
our
the-
part-time meter readers are higher than that. So
The difference is you're working 2 hours today compared to
up to
the other
$9.99.
people that are working 8-hour days.
And I mean, that's an inconvenience factor. You're breaking your day up to go there in the morning,
Well-
leave, go back in the afternoon for an hour. I mean, that's why it's hard to find bus drivers. I mean, it's
And
just,
I-
it's an
yeah.
inconvenient time of day.
I
I get
mentioned
it.
it to John too, if we would look at an approach of, make it $40 a day or $35 a day or whatever, rather than so much an hour.
Right.
I mean,
I don't know if that would make it more appealing.
I mean, if we made it $40 a day, it would equal out to $20 an hour.
Yeah, that's basically what but if they happen to be there longer than that,
Correct.
and there are times you said when they are there,
There are times that it could work out that way, and there's sometimes they're there shorter than a whole hour. So I think it would be just as well if we paid $40 a day, but that'd be for both crosswalks, or for both times of the crosswalk, because sometimes they'll come in during the morning and then they don't come in the afternoon and we cover it. So that'd be the only issue. Unless you make it $20 a time that they do the
Per
crosswalk,
shift.
$20 per session.
$20 per shift
Mhm.
would work out.
Because what happens if you or somebody else has to do it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't get the $20.
They work
Okay.
for
We
$20.
we get our regular pay.
I mean, I don't know if that would sound more appealing to people.
$20
You
a
could-
session.
You could advertise it as $40 a day and then
Right.
explain to them that, hey, this is $20 in the morning, $20 in the afternoon. So
That's true.
you only hear from one of them,
that.
you know.
That would also allow if you wanted to split up.
Yes. we
Yeah,
could
I
split
mean,
Have somebody in the morning, somebody in the afternoon.
to me, if I was just looking for a little part-time gig, $40 a day sounds a whole lot better than $17 an hour,
I agree.
you know. Plus, it would kind of take us off the hook of what we're paying,
Yeah.
you know.
Right, it's not an hourly job, it's just a,
Right.
There it is
It's not
for
a-
this
it's not
position.
an hourly position, it's just so much a day.
Mhm.
And Liz, you'd be okay from a payroll standpoint if we handled it that way?
I mean, that's, you know, just an idea I guess.
I mean, there's potentially people who might just do that, say, oh, I can do every morning shift.
Yeah.
And, you know, there might be a few of those people out there, but they never commit because they can't do the afternoon and vice versa. So, I mean, $20 a session. I like
I
it.
mean, ideally, we want to hire.
Well,
someone
sure.
for both,
But
but if you get two guys that say, one guy says, I'll do the morning, one guy says, I'll do the afternoon.
You wanna do $20 a session then? That'd be a better way. Okay.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? Then I make the motion that we pay $20 a session. For crossing guards.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next up, we got training request for Christy Cooper. Jill, you wanna?
These are just some of the trainings that SWIC provides. There's a purple one training for VPC, and then, the other trainings are, the emotional intelligence, customer service. They're free to the public and the local businesses around here, so she expressed interest in those trainings. I think they would be good for her to attend. The one that I would like to go to is the same VPC training, and there is a leadership training at the hospital that is being offered tomorrow for free.
They're all free. No expenses with them. Okay.
They're all free, no mileage, no travel expenses.
is this something that we really need to run through here if there's no cost to the city and our people can just go to a free training?
Well, they're still taking time off work to go. So,
But we are working.
But it's still
I
on the
would
clock.
say.
right, I mean,
Yeah.
but they're not here.
I get it. Okay.
Yes.
A lot
I
of the
just-
training we do there's no cost to, you know.
Right.
So that is something that we went back and reviewed what is current in our employee policy, and it says that any trainings or meetings that we attend have to be approved.
Okay.
By the council, so if that's something you want to change in the future, I think. I
Okay.
could understand why you want to do that.
All right, well then I'll make the motion that we accept the training request for Christy Cooper on the outline trainings here.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then I make a motion, we accept Jill Ingraff's training request for the trainings provided below.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, any public comments, anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, I will close personnel committee at 6:29.
Okay, next up is public health and safety.
Excuse me, I'll call the public health and safety at 6:29. Myself, Reinecker, Gebert, Neboy, Dojan are all present. We have no old business. Under new business, I'll make a motion. We approve the August 19, 2024 minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Departmental activity report. You all have a copy of it in your packet. Anybody got any questions for John? Hearing none. We'll move on to public comments. Anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, we'll adjourn at 6:30.
Okay, thank you. Next up is cultural committee.
I'll call the cultural committee to order at 6:30 PM. Myself, Damon, Reinecker, Gebert, and Dojan are all present. No old business. New business, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the prior month's meeting minutes on August 19th of 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to make a motion to approve the request of Comwell to use Rats Park Pavilion number 1, less fees, and reserve the parking spots for the handicapped access on September 27th, 2024, from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think not only the handicap access, they wanted the whole front row next to the pavilion to be reserved. So I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The Witches Night Out have a request from this council for a request to sponsor their shirt that it says we sponsored last year for $100, and a logo goes on the back of the Witches Night Out shirt. So I'd like to make a motion, we approve the Witches Night Out t-shirt sponsorship.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other discussion? Motion carries. The Knights of Columbus out of Evansville are requesting to collect at the four-way stop on September 20th from 3 to 6:30. It was previously approved for September 13th, but it was rained out. So I'd like to make a motion, we accept their request.
This was put on here in case it did get rained out and the weather held off, so it's already
Oh.
over and done. We're good.
Okay.
Yep.
Never mind.
I was gonna say, I thought they collected. this-
Yeah, we did. We did last week.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. it helped.
Sorry, should have checked with you. A request from the Violence Prevention Center of Southwestern Illinois to place purple ribbons on trees in October for the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'd like to make a motion, we accept that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. David Freeze has a request to use Rats Park Pavilion 1, less fees for the Women's Leadership Initiative. We've already approved this for the September 28th, but homecoming, so he's going to move it to October 19th, 2024 from 10 to 2 p.m. So I'll make a motion, we approve the amended request.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any public comments? Hearing none, I close Cultural Committee at 6:33 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Public Works is up next.
I call the public works at 6:30 with myself, Dojan, Hannibal, Schwarzkopf, and Reiniger all present. Under old business, power plant report,
No report other than just our regular scheduled generation runs.
utilities and streets.
Nothing under electric, gas, water, sewer on the streets. I am working on updating the bags and brush policy. Some of it just because I think the brush policy has kind of been more for somebody trimming trees of their own. We've had a few where they're hiring a company to come in and then they expect us to ship up all their brush, and or we're hauling it away because it's stacked 6 feet high. So I'm just looking through different places, trying to amend the policy that we have. Just letting you know, I'll be working on that.
Utility rate studies.
No report other than I have Liz and I have a kickoff meeting with Utility Financial Solutions on October 1st at 10 o'clock. And I am meeting again with Illinois Rural Water on Friday this week to continue working on that one. The initial report he gave me showed a significant deficit in the water, but because of the reimbursement we got from our aerator landed in 24, we were looking at 23 numbers. I'm just wanting to have that built back into it to kind of really have more accurate numbers. So re-meeting with them again to update those figures, and those both are ongoing.
Okay. Under new business, I'd like to make a motion, we approve the prior month's meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is authorization to obtain bids, to replace the backhoe or investigate lease options.
Yep. Backhoe's been,
Shot for 10 years.
it's starting to be a money pit. And so, and then looking at some of the other places and knowing some other municipalities, they do a lease option. So instead of trying to buy something outright, you can do a lease option where you have an annual payment, monthly payment. I don't know how they do it. Figure out what we got. I just wanted to get authorization. I did budget for purchase one, but I would just like to get authorization to, seek the options for replacement, either, looking at buying outright and or what potential lease options. And if you guys are good with that, then bring it back to you at a later meeting.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we accept him to at least obtain bids and investigate the lease options that come back.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Next item is a proposal from Seal Master for a new paint sprayer.
Yeah, the paint spray we use for the parking lot lines, street line, the side crosswalks and all that. It was used when we bought it from a painting company and it's got some leaks and everything else on it. I spoke with Ted Moore, recommended Sealmaster. They deal with the same brand that we currently have, but he recommended that the one we have isn't something that we would need, that brand, that style, because we don't paint every day. So he did come back and provided a proposal for one that a lot of municipalities have. It's in the packet at $8,970. Initially wasn't budgeted for, but we do have some more work that we could do. We did complete some of the stuff by rolling it by hand. Obviously, it's a lot more time consuming. Talked to Liz that we do have some money in the budget for a separate line item of like a street tractor replacement. And basically could utilize those funds for that purchase. And then basically refund that, as we move money back and forth to re-up that money back in there. And they do have these in stock, so we could get it quickly, to work on this. So I'll just be, if you guys are okay with that, would like to see about replacing our paint sprayer.
Is this the total then with no shipping or anything?
Well, it's in St. Louis, so we would just go get it.
Okay.
But you got any other questions?
How many hours here you use that thing?
Couple times.
I mean, is it? I guess my question is it worth purchasing one or we'd be better off renting one? during the
Well,
season
the
if
problem
we
is, I
need it?
guess, with rental, not knowing when you're gonna do it, because if we have one, then we can kind of go in and out. We're trying to get some different areas, so like I said, it's,
Yeah,
probably a couple weeks out of the year, we're doing it, and then if we have new stuff pop up, or if we have it, and we have people available, then we can go out and re-hit different areas or curbs, like, we have the blue for the police areas, we have the yellow
Right.
curbs and stuff like that, so.
Okay, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to purchase a new paint sprayer not to exceed $89.70.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is Metro Ag for the sludge removal.
Yeah, this is just the normal stuff we have for the land application that they do down at the lagoons at the plant down there. Just to redo the contract. Because the one we currently had ended in April, so they're just trying to see if we can set it up. The one in here says the 9th day of September. I did request that they put it as October 7th, which would coincide with the council meeting. I had already sent it over to Cooper's for review, but it's just the standard agreement that we have for them. And they take care of all the necessary paperwork for the land application. So we just seek approval of the contract.
Okay, so there's really not a dollar amount. It's just
It's
basically.
on a per gallon
Right.
basis and they have the rates in there. So.
Right. Okay,
And the rates are per prevailing wage, which we have to have.
sure. Okay, I'd like to make a motion. We approve the Metro Ag contract for sludge removal.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any other public comments?
Yes, just real quick, I got something popped up in my calendar today, just wanted to make you aware of it, but I'll put it on the council. I'll have two separate line items, one for probationary report periods ending. One for Hunter Bauer, which would be October 2nd, and then Bob Ziffel, October 9th. Those obviously would be pending council approval. And then also Hunter Bauer's do a step increase for after a 6-month period. When we had that position, there's a 6-month and a 12-month increase. With that, it would be a 6-month increase of $2.50 per hour with the first full pay period following that council meeting, which would be the pay period starting October 16th. And then obviously at a year, it'd be a second increase of $2.50, but just wanted to make you aware of those items. Obviously, we can't take any action on them tonight, but I will have them put on the council meeting so we can make sure
Okay.
they stay.
They'll be in as a separate line
They'll
item.
be under the public works, correct?
Any other public comments?
Josh, I know they were working on one of the wells down at the river. Have we got that up and going now?
Yeah, that's going through all the insurance stuff. So we did have the other, motor was put back in. We have some, fix some wiring. I'm tracking all the costs, sending that to the insurance company. So they are both operational. And what we're doing now is actually alternating about every 2 weeks, running one, running the other. And so if we don't run into the same situation where if you're running both at the same time and something hits, you burn them both up. So we're running those, but they are both are operational.
Is that something we need to be looking at putting in the budget of possibly doing a new one?
Well, there's neither new and everything else where we're at with that lease too, so we have to figure that out, but, I'm looking at doing some, like an annual maintenance program with them as well. But I can talk to engineer and find out, where we're at and talk to Lane Christensen, who's been doing a lot of that work and see some additional information for that, so.
Just out of curiosity, I know we've talked about it in the past and it's in the budget. Where are we at with redoing the water tower starting to look rough?
Yeah, I'm exploring options right now. We've just been discussing that in our meetings.
Okay.
I actually met with Joe last week before, we were talking about different options and different things. So I've talked to some different municipalities. They've used low interest loans from IEPA. They've used, some of the companies may do, I don't know if there's options that, maybe they do a thing where you pay it over a couple of years, who knows? So I'm exploring those options, but yes, it is money's in the budget. In the capital plan, we're just trying to revamp that capital plan. Also why we're doing the rate studies to try and make sure we have that, but it is a project I'm working on.
Okay.
Any other comments? Not, I move to adjourn at 6:41.
Okay, well, we did zoning at the start, so we'll skip over and go right to recreational facilities.
Thank you, Mayor. Call recreational facilities at 6:42. Myself, Hannibal, Nevoy, Peel, and Demond are all present. We do not have any old business under new business. I'll make the motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes from August 19th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Any opposed? Motion carries. There's a request for the Muskets Homecoming for October 10th through the 13th, 2024. I would make a motion that we accept as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. YMCA pool report.
Have it. This is their preliminary report. She said that they'd have more of the detailed financials at that end of the year report, so I should have that in October. But this is through the end of August.
Okay. Anybody have any questions with
Yeah.
regards to that?
Yeah, Jill, they have expenses down here of 44,943. At the bottom, their estimated management fee is 6741. Is that included in the 44 or will that be on top of the 44,000?
I believe that will be on top of.
So we lost $34,000 last year.
We can't say for certain at this point because I don't have all of the numbers, but I know Susan had looked it over and said that we're pretty much on par from where we were last year at this time.
Actually, from the budget they prepared, they're pretty much close to where they thought they were going to be.
So how much were in the hole last year?
Oh, I did not bring last year's numbers with me. Do you remember, Liz, offhand? 28, 30, 32, somewhere. I mean, some of this is the effects of minimum wage because all of their lifeguards have got to be paid at minimum, and every year that's gone up another $1 for every hour those guards are working. And once we get that final report, this will be broken down a whole lot. I mean, I'm kind of wondering too, like what makes the individual line items up. Those reports, the preliminary one is due October 1, and then the final is due 11/1.
Question for you, Josh. This kind of goes back to Public Works. What about pool repairs? I know there was something you said earlier in the year. And are we looking at major pool repairs over the winter?
Mayor, Liz, or Jill and I actually have a meeting scheduled to go out there and go through everything, create a list, bring that back to you guys. Because trying to figure out what we have, try and put some cost to it and come back and say, okay, here's what we'd be looking at. Where are we at?
But
So
there was that issue.
there's a sand issue
Yeah,
and it continues. And what we've tried when my discussions with Vic, we couldn't find anything. So we're not short of tearing up the whole deck, trying to look around, and it may not be under the deck. Maybe it's something under the pool. I don't, it's hard to. And trying to camera that, it's another thing that's impossible because it literally goes in about a foot and a complete hard 90s to the piping. So there's no way you can try and get a camera without getting it stuck up in the piping. So
But Mike, like I said, late next week, we're going out, literally going out to the pool. We'll make a list and hopefully we'll have enough time to tuck that in the October committee package, and we can really look at a comprehensive list of everything at the pool that needs to be addressed.
And we've asked the YMCA to do the same, so if there's something that they're noticing, they're supposed to be creating a list as well of things that need to be addressed.
Any other discussion? Okay. Rats Park renovation project update. Jeff or Rodney, either one.
I can give you a pretty quick one. We're fine tuning the splash pad itself. Everything has been installed, the concrete's all done. We do need to seal it yet. I spoke with Rodney this morning. The fencing is gonna begin installation tomorrow, and it should be done in a couple days. Other than that, we need to seal the deck and clean up a few more loose things, but it's looking good.
Does look good.
What about the pressure issue?
That's what needs to be tweaked. We're working on that.
So we're still comfortable that we're gonna be done in time to meet the,
Sitting here right now today, yes.
We like yes. All right. Any other discussion?
because if we don't, $400,000 hit.
You can always ask for an extension.
Okay.
We're hoping not to have to.
Public comments, anything for the good of the order? Hearing none, I'll adjourn at 6:47.
Okay, thank you. And it's the biannual time for executive session minutes review committee. So go for it, Ben.
Call executive session committee at 6:47. Myself, Damon, Nevoy, Peel, and Hannibal are all present. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the prior month's meeting minutes from March 18th, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yeah, I'm
We don't have any we don't have any meeting minutes to review, right?
That's what
Oh.
you just approved.
Oh, I thought, well, item number 2 on there was review another one, so
2 would be going into executive session.
do we need to do that? Oh, I didn't get my paper this time, say. All my, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to make a motion? Oh, okay, I'd like to make a motion to go to executive session.
Okay, for the semi-annual executive session minute review, under 5 ILCS 120-2C21 at 6:48.
No,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
No, I've lived that dream before.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay.
I'll go around.
Now we're kind of.
I will resume the executive session at 6:53, and we will release the March 18th, 2024 executive session meetings minutes. Oh, I would like to make an emotion that we release those minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Do you need to say the 5 LLC thing again?
No, we do.
Okay. Any public comments, anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, I adjourn the executive session at 6:54 PM.
Okay, that concludes our committees. We got a lot of work done in 54 minutes tonight. Thank you, everybody.